Welcome to the Hemlock State Explorer. We are glad you're with us. This is another campground walkthrough. We are starting this campground walkthrough at the bottom of the park near the first fork of the Sinnemahoning Creek. Here is site 1, and beyond that 3. Looks like odd numbers are on the right, even are on the left. Site number 2. That brown structure ahead is the dishwashing station. There is free firewood, at least at the time we stayed, in a pile right here. Site number 4. And then there are sites down there. We'll check those out at the end. We'll go up this loop here. Site number 5. And then 6 to our left. Sinnemahoning State Park is arranged in 2 loops. One large loop, which we're starting on now. It's wooded in this section. And then a more open, smaller loop off to the south. Here's site 7. Site 8 up to the left. And there's the bathhouse right behind site 8. Not sure if I would like site 8. It's close to the bathhouse, but looks like a walking path runs right through it. 9. I'm liking these sites to the right on account of their shadiness and that they abut the woods. There's 10, 11 to our left. We're heading uphill. There's a nice shady spot up ahead. And then an empty spot right above the bathhouse. Here's site number 12. Okay, and then 13 overlooks the bathhouse and the rest of the park. To our left is site number 14. And site number 16 is interesting because there's a pull-through site at the bottom and then a 2-tiered terrace up above, and 15 was to our left. All of the sites at Sinnemahoning State Park are electric except for these 2 coming up, sites 17 and 18, the walk-in sites. Sites 17 and 18 are walk-in sites, but as you can see, we're standing in the parking lot here, and although you can't drive a vehicle right up to the sites, these paths are pretty level, mostly level and very easy walking, so it really wouldn't be a huge chore to lug your gear up into these sites. I really like how secluded these are. A lot of tree cover ahead with the hemlock and the shagbark hickory. So this is site 17, and then 18, well, we'll cut across this path to site number 18. I think 17 and 18 are my favorites so far. So as I was saying, all the sites in Sinnemahoning State Park have electric, except for 17 and 18, and these are walk-in sites. So I'll turn around and get you a better view of site 18. Yeah, 17 and 18 are my favorites so far, but you do have to lug your gear in a short distance. And then we'll hang a right and finish off this loop, and we'll check out the sub loop actually as we're down in this direction. So you can see so far we've walked about half of the park. It is on the smaller side for state parks, only 32 sites. Okay, so we're gonna head to the right, and this is the sub loop off of the main loop. The sites we first started out at, the lower number sites, tend to be a bit smaller. Here's 20. These sites are larger, at least by my estimation. I like the shade underneath here. We have some big pines providing shade, and then there's some separation between the sites via these bushes. Site 21. Here's site 22. Against the woods providing some cover. I'm liking site 22 as well because you have some seclusion from these bushes to our right, and it backs right into the woods. And there's a trail, the red spruce trail cuts right back behind here. You can see those two wooden bridges. We'll cut over here to the next neighboring site. So why are we doing this? Well, I love camping. I love Pennsylvania state parks for many reasons, which you can check out at hemlockstateexplorer.com, and you can find the full review. This is just the walking tour. The reason we're doing this is because when you book state park campground sites, they'll give you one, maybe two images to show you what they look like, and they may not be very recent images, and they only give you one shot, so it's difficult to tell what the sites actually look like. And our objective here is to help you pick out the best site for your camping experience. All right, 28, 27, and then we'll finish up this loop and we'll rejoin the main loop right ahead where you see the road curving uphill. And here's 29. Well, that was a short sub loop, and we can see the park where we started out at to our right. All right, we are back at the intersection of the sub loop and the main loop, and that pine stand you see up ahead is where we started our documentation. Here's the Bathhouse up to the left, and the information kiosk, and the camper cleanout station, and there are several sites to our right. We'll take a look at them. These are fairly open camper sites. 30 right here, and then 31, and then beyond that 32 where this camper is parked. And look, we're back at the park where we started already. It's a small campground. It doesn't have a lot of the amenities that other state parks may have, but the real draw of Sinnemahoning State Park is its seclusion. We are in a narrow gorge, and the first fork of the Sinnemahoning Creek runs through it. And here you can see all kinds of wildlife. And this is one of the few places in the state where you can actually see elk. We are back at the pile of free campfire wood, and there's just one little road that cuts through the main loop. We can see site number 6 there, and then here is site number 35. Okay, I guess there were more than 32. There's 35, 34, and 33 up ahead. Here's the bathhouse with men's, women's bathrooms, and there is one shower stall each for men and women. That might not sound like a lot, but being such a small campground, we've had no problems showering. Like almost all Pennsylvania state parks, the bathhouses are clean and well maintained. A major draw of Sinnemahoning State Park is its remoteness and seclusion. And this has just been the walking tour of the campground to help you pick out the perfect campsite for your adventure. But it's by no means all that Sinnemahoning State Park has to offer. Be sure to check out the full review along with things to do in the area at hemlockstateexplorer.com. There you'll also find other campground reviews along with all of our outdoor adventures. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, we can't wait to see you on the next adventure.